Hello, Capricorn rising, and welcome to your astrology and tarot forecast for this full moon in Aquarius. If you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Lisa Merrifield, and I'm from Trails Edge Astrology. On my channel, I like to help busy people make informed, good decisions by providing some grounded, practical advice to help you align with the cosmic energy. These readings are, of course, general. If you are interested in knowing more specifically how this energy impacts your chart, I do offer personal readings. My website is in the show notes. And I also offer a membership service where I provide a reading like I do here for you every month, but specific to your chart. So if you're interested in that, continue listening, and I will. In November, I'll open that membership again. Before we get started, of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, or comment. It helps the channel grow. It helps me know you're out there and know what you're interested in. So thanks so much for that. All right, let's talk about this full moon in Aquarius. It is a doozy. So, first and foremost, like self-care is a priority here. Whatever your self-care needs are, do that. Because there's just so much energy coming in. Um, just yeah, just so much energy. So every year we have a full moon in Aquarius. So every year, when the sun is in Leo, we have a full moon opposite that in Aquarius, and we are asked to think about individual creativity versus how we're creative in groups, and just the who we are on our own versus who we are in a society, all those kinds of things. This year, it is particularly interesting because this full moon in Aquarius is squaring Uranus. And Uranus has had lots of hits this year. We had a Jupiter Uranus conjunction in April. We had a Mars Uranus conjunction in July. And now we have this Uranus square to the moons. And in addition to that, Mercury is squaring Uranus and Venus is squaring Uranus. So just lots of Uranian energy. Uranian energy is about surprises and liberation. It can be a little chaotic. It's about releasing tension in um, whatever way that's easiest. And so it's not always pretty. Um, and so that's why I say like self-care routines are important. Like really taking time to think about how you want to show up is particularly important for this full moon. So, as you're thinking about how this full moon will show up for you, the Aquarius Libra axis for you as a Capricorn rising is in your house of money or values, money and values. So, what do your personal resources look like? How are you karmically and literally intertwined with other people's resources and other people's values, and how are you vulnerable with other people? Any of those kinds of things are ripe for exploration during this time, with the idea that we're going to have some um, upset around personal and individuation and how you show up in the world. This How the full moon impacts you will, of course, depend on what planets you've got in Leo, Aquarius, and Taurus right now. But even if you don't have any energy there, you will feel ripple effects from this moon. We will see things in society. I don't know entirely what will happen, but things will move with this moon, with that Uranian energy, touching off some kind of illumination, some kind of like show of events. And I'm not trying to be like overly dramatic about it. It just it's a lot of energy all at once, and I want to make sure that we are all prepared, because I want you to show up as your best possible self. I want you to bring to the table the tools and the skills, and like get from this what you need to get from it. um, it there is the chance to propel forward with this moon, and you have the ability to do it, um, to have some control. You have control. You have free will, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You have free will to think about how you want to show up in this situation. So full moon, square Uranus, that's a lot. That's not all. This full moon is also co-present with what we call a T-square. So Venus is opposite Saturn, and both of those are square Mars and Jupiter. And so that's a lot of energy, and T-squares are really tense aspects. They're aspects that ask us to find some resolution and find some ability to like pull energy together and find compromises and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to tease apart all of that energy and how it will show up for you, except to say, we've got the Uranian tension, and then this is a different kind of tension. And in particular, I'm really interested in the Jupiter Saturn square that is coming during, as part of this T square. And I'm interested in that. Back to December of 2020, Jupiter and Saturn came together at 0 degrees of Aquarius. Now, Jupiter and Saturn meet every 20 years in a sign. And for 200 years, they meet in a certain element. So for 200 years, Jupiter and Saturn have met in Earth signs. And in those Earth signs, of course, we've seen the Industrial Revolution. We've seen, the last 200 years in terms of mechanization and industry and corporations and the money and the military industrial complex, all those earthy kinds of things have come together over the last 200 years. And Jupiter and Saturn coming together at 0 degrees of Aquarius moved us into an air cycle. And so there is much excitement about, what that means and how that will show up for us. And is that the information age? Is that really moving into AI? Is that changing our consciousness? Is that changing like the values we have and the way we interact with each other? We'll see. We're just at the beginning of this cycle. So back in December of 2020 into January, we had this new seeding moment, and the start of a new 20-year cycle. And so fast forward to this full moon in Aquarius on August 19th, Jupiter will square Saturn. So this is called an opening square. So, we have a seeding moment, the Jupiter meets Saturn, and then we come to what's called an opening square, which is a point of crisis. It's a point where we've had 3.5 years of building into whatever this new cycle is, whatever energy we brought in. And now we are being asked to adaptively manage what's working, what's not working, what needs to stay, what needs to go. How do we continue to build? I'm going to move my microphone over. I just realized I didn't do that. All right. So hopefully, if I was not clear, I will be clearer now. Apologies for that. So yeah, so this is a point of adaptive management, of adjustment. What do we need to change, add, subtract, rethink in order to move the story forward, move whatever that 20-year cycle is for you forward? Now, this square is going to happen 3 times. So this is the first of 3 that will happen between now and June of next year. And this happens a lot. A lot of times, big energy, we have 3 passes to kind of think about how to work with it. So we get the opening pass kind of shows us what we might want to work on. We have the middle, the middle touch point, where we integrate and we figure out how to work with it, and then we have the third touch point where we really live into whatever that change is. So over the next year, we're going to be working into this energy, and thinking about, from what happened in 2020, how do we adjust and adaptively manage to go forward to make sure that we're really living into the energy as we want to, as is appropriate. Again, we have free will. We can, this showed up for all of us somewhere. If you have planets around the early degrees of Aquarius or Leo, it potentially showed up, more directly. But even if you didn't, there was some energy, some shift has come in around that space. And it's just interesting that it is hitting at the same point as this full moon with this Uranian energy. So again, a lot of energy, a lot coming in and just becoming apparent, becoming illuminated with this moon. So I don't know exactly what will happen. I certainly don't know what will happen in your life, but I suspect that you are feeling some of this, some pressure, some movement, maybe excitement, hopefully excitement. I know I've talked to several people who are feeling a lot of anxiety right now, and so and that's fair. A Uranus square gives us some anxiety, and the Jupiter Saturn adjustments, like that can make us feel anxious. So again, self-care, super important. Whatever it is you do to take care of you, now is a good time to like really step into that fully. All right, so let's get in and pull some cards to see how this energy might land for you and how you might want to work with it. Um, you know, regarding scale of this reading, I am going to read for this Jupiter Saturn square as much or more as I'm reading for the full moon. So the full moon is there and very prevalent and very important. And I think the Jupiter Saturn square really can tell us more about what kinds of things we need to bring in and change um, going forward in this longer cycle. So that's what I'm really reading for. You put in your head whatever questions that you have around this time, around what needs to be adapted. But in particular, think back to December of 2020, January of 2021, what was coming in for you, and what you want that energy to look like. I'm going to pause for a second and shuffle cards. We are using the Mind's Eye Tarot today, and we're going to do a 5-card spread. So I'll be right back with our cards dealt. All right, Capricorn rising, cards are dealt, and let's see what the universe wants you to hear today. Of course, take what works, leave the rest, and yeah, I hope this is helpful. All right, so what has manifested for you, Capricorn rising, since the Great Conjunction, which is that Jupiter Saturn conjunction at 0 degrees of Aquarius back in December of 2020. And for you, Capricorn, we got the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is about nightmares and is about real strife and anguish and worry. And yeah, so I don't know. You tell me. Have you been having a good time? Um, yeah, I think there's been whatever's been initiating is giving you some grief, is maybe not coming together the way you had hoped, or maybe not, or maybe you just have anticipatory anxiety. Maybe you're making a big change and or you really want something and you're just like super worried about it. But as you can see from this card, look at the swords all above her. It's rough energy. And so yeah, so again, self-care. Self-care is really important, and I hope that you've been practicing self-care in this time, which from this card kind of indicates that you've kind of been going through it. You've been like you're working through something, and it's really maybe really hitting you mentally. Maybe you're getting in your head about what you're doing or where you're going, and kind of that rumination process. And so that's where you are right now, from that energy coming in at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021. You're building something, but it's causing you some stress at the moment. All right. So, what do you need to see at this crisis point? So, at this point where Saturn and Jupiter are squaring each other and asking you to adaptively manage, asking you, like, how do you get out of this space where you're kind of in your head and ruminating and maybe not moving forward, or not able to move forward because you're worried about something. And the card you got, Capricorn rising, is the Knight of Pentacles. And knights are all about movement, but the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest of the knights. So, Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands can be reckless, but the Knight of Pentacles is not. The Knight of Pentacles is very deliberate and baby steps, and slow and steady wins the race kind of energy. And so I think what you need to see in this energy is that maybe running around in your head is not getting you where you need to go. And that there's something about just being slow and deliberate. Pentacles are about earthly things like a grounding, bringing something into material being. And so what you need to see right now, or what you're invited to see right now at this moment, is this energy of just practical, deliberate, make your to-do list, check things off. Um, yeah, come together in the 3D world, climb the ladder. You're a Capricorn rising, like you know how to scale the mountain, and maybe you're worried because you're not moving fast enough. Maybe that's what you're worried about. But this energy is saying, see that slow and steady wins the race. That um, progress doesn't have to be fast um, to have you moving forward. So something about that energy, something about that slow and steady is important for you to see. What needs to be released in order for you to embrace this next chapter, embrace this next 20-year cycle? And you got the world. And the world is about um, endings and beginnings, beginnings and endings, endings and beginnings. So the world is the end of the major arcana journey. And so there's something in here that is finished, that has culminated, and it's time to release that, whatever that is finished. And it could be big, it could be little, and I don't know, but there's something that is done, and you need to put it down, or you need to walk away from it, or you need to say, okay, I've been working on that thing, I've been worrying about that thing, and I can't worry about it anymore. It's done. It's finished. I've completed whatever I needed to do, and it's time for me to move on. It's time for me to end that chapter and step into the next chapter. So that's pretty heavy. That's really heavy. And yeah, so but there's something to be released, and we know that energetically, when we let go of things, um, we create space for the new things to come in. So there's something there about um, ending a cycle, releasing something, and it could be as simple as like maybe you've got a junk room, or you've got a closet that's just like stuff with stuff, and like maybe it's just time to clean that out. It could be something that simple. It could also be something like, it's time to leave a job, or it's time to leave a partner, or it's time to like close out a cycle or a chapter. And it might be hard to do. So, but there's something in that releasing that this Jupiter Saturn square is asking you to think about. So, you know, and we have a year, so you don't have to do it this week. um, Step into it. We've got the slow and steady wins the race. You need to see slow and steady wins the race. You don't have to do it right now, but end the cycle. If something is ending, let it go, bless it, and send it off into the world. All right, what opportunity is getting ready to emerge with this adjustment period where you are releasing, where you're moving slowly? We got the Ace of Pentacles. And aces are about a pure form of the energy of the suit, and pentacles are about materials, wealth, money, jobs, houses, like material stuff. And it's so interesting to me that your um, Leo Aquarius axis is potentially, it depends on, your chart, but potentially in this space of money and resources, and how you are karmically intertwined around money and resources with other people. So, you're kind of dealing with that energy, and there's something, maybe let go enables something else to come in. It energetically opens the door for a new new opportunity to emerge. So I think while you are worrying, while you are ruminating, while things are moving slowly, while there is something that needs to be released, know that energetically, there is something else out there that will come in and will fill that space, and will be more fulfilling, more rewarding, more in alignment with what you need that to be. And with Pentacles, it's a new business, it's money, it's a new house, it's new, yeah, new, it's grounded, it's earthy. It's earthy energy, physical manifesting kind of energy. Actually, that's a good way to put it. Like if you can release, if you can kind of let your mind quiet down, take it slow, do the plan, let things go. Like the manifestation, your ability to manifest something is there. Like this can come in to your being. And what message does the universe have for you? And it has the Hermit. And the Hermit is really internal energy. It's about going inside and about really like like, like doing your work, feeling into the shadow side of things, like really like shadow Hermit cards usually have a light shining somewhere, like shine the light on the muck that has been under the surface or that you haven't wanted to look at, like do that work. The Hermit card can also be a teacher. Like there might be some new teaching opportunity, can be like a person or it can be a situation that the universe is opening up for you. So I really think what this is saying is that this energy is really an invitation to release something that maybe is hard or you're worried about or you're not sure how it's all going to work out, how you're going to actually do this, but there's some encouragement to release. And if you can release and just really go inside and sit with yourself and be with yourself, um, you have the ability to manifest something. Something new is on the horizon, just waiting for you to open up this space. So I hope that's helpful. This is a lot, and yeah, let me know how this shows up for you. What your thoughts are, and good luck, Capricorns. If you're still here, still listening, and this was helpful to you, I would really appreciate a like, a subscribe, a comment is definitely interesting. I try and respond to all of them, and I'll see you next time. Bye.